Okay, there it is. There it be. There it be. Hallelujah. Welcome. Somebody's already here? Damn, that was quick. Who is already here? You were so fast. You were the fastest of the fast. And welcome. How are you? Uh, okay. I don't like the new international version. Yuck. Yuck. Where's the AM? AMP. There we go. Can I get some AMP, please? Do it, do it, do it. There we go. There we go. What's up, Benzo Scarlet with the speed? Tweedly. How are you? How's everybody doing? I hope you're good on this Sunday. I hope you're not snowed in like we be here in New England, not the old England. You can tell us apart still because New England still refuses to have a king. Old England, they have a monarch. He doesn't do much. He's just got chubby little toe fingers. But we're going to talk about levitating the government in honor of Abby Hoffman. You're doing fine. That's good to hear. We're going to talk about John Brown's gospel. It's really just the gospel to stand with the oppressed. That's it. John Brown believed that when those writers wrote the Declaration of Independence, where they said, "We believe we have rights, inalienable rights endowed by our Creator," John Brown, my cousin, believed that those rights extended to every person, not just men that were white and owned land. So my cousin went on what you could say is a righteous adventure to try and make the Declaration of Independence live up to its words, because it had been a fraudulent document. Well, it still kind of exists as a fraudulent document, but that's neither here nor there. I really, really like, what is it? Oh, that's it. Matthew 25:35. Matthew 25:35. If you have your Bibles, nobody needs a Bible. I'm just kidding. What's up, Edward? Good to see that wrench on your name. But listen, we have important work to do. There's a lot of people doing important work behind the scenes stuff, organizing, keeping tabs on the government like they should be. Remember, the government works for us. They should be scared that they're not doing a good job. Remember that, the American way. But there's other important things we can do for us who are trapped under 20 feet of snow. We can use our minds like Abby Hoffman once did in the late 60s. He went to the Pentagon and tried to levitate it with about 300 other hippies. I fully believe in it. I mean, I don't think it worked, but we don't know. Nobody was there with the measurement stick. They should have called Guinness if that existed at that time. I'm sure it did. But anyways, I have a feeling that if we all use our brain power and we send energy and a message to Donald Trump, may he face every decision he has to make from here on out. May he have to come face to face with these decisions in one way or another. It's not something I'm looking to prove. It's just sending that energy. It's almost like karmic energy. Like, listen, if you're going to sit in your high ivory tower and make these decisions of other people's boots on the ground while you're putting those boots in American citizens' necks, we should just be focused heavily on, may you have to face those decisions. I don't know how he's going to face them, but I think collectively we can use our energy. For all the people who are feeling maybe a little hopeless about the times right now, maybe you're feeling like, what can I do? Well, maybe we all take a moment, we just focus that energy. Not just that he faces decisions, but may he have to get his steps in every day by stairs. I just think that's a healthy thing. You know, every person of older age should have to be hustling up them stairs, you know, keeping it healthy. We know how much fast food he likes, so I think that's a benefit to him, don't you? Oh, that's right, I forgot. Uh, so I am going to put on, you got to be a subscriber to speak. I'm just going to do that because there's so many little troll maggots, bootlickers, whatever you want to call them. What is Italy calling them again? Hold on. Let me find, what is Italy saying about these motherfuckers? Here it is. Italy, the Italian news has begun calling ICE Trump's squadrista. The squadrista, as every Italian knows, were members of Mussolini's Squadro de Azioni, which toward opponents of fascism. But in Italy, the government never paid the squadristi a salary. So we're just, you know, they don't need to speak. If you'd like to chat, hit subscribe, and then you can chat. But there's just too many. You should do it all the time. Make them give you a sub to troll. That's a good idea. Listen, you're not the first to say that. And maybe I should start doing that. Because, you know, there's a lot of people that don't come in the chat because it's just garbage. It's a barren wastecape of people just regurgitating the same MAGA nonsensical talking points. What's up, Cage? Good to see you. Good to see you. So I just put on, you know, you got to be a subscriber to chat. That's all. Because we're just going to have some real talk. Now let's get into levitating the Pentagon like Abby Hoffman once tried to in the late 60s. Here, before we have a moment with the Church of Radical Communion, aka John Brown's Gospel, that's where I read from. I read from John Brown's Gospel. It's mostly just the red, the Bible. Welcome, I'm Robin, ordained reverend, former drug addict, got a long history of tragedy, and I don't want people to suffer while one guy has $1 trillion. If you feel the same, then subscribe. If you don't, see your way out. I ain't got no time for you. I'm not here to teach you how to be obedient to Fox News. Let's just be very honest about that. The people I look up to are the people who pushed America forward in many different ways, from Tupac to Abby Hoffman. These are the people that I look to in times like this. So let's play a little Abby Hoffman when he's talking at the trial of the Chicago 7. And he's talking, and right previous to him speaking, he was referencing the Panther 21 trial and how the government was trumping up charges and locking up their lawyers. And he starts to explain this is what he believes fascism is. Listen to the echoing sentiments. This is why history is so important, folks. You mean steal this book, Abby Hoffman's book, steal this book. I have it. I would say Revolution for the Hell of It is a good one. Steffelson, what's up? What a surprise. The two-way don't tread on me crowd turned out to be a bunch of cowardly bootlicking pushovers for Trump. Most corrupt person ever. Amen to that. Here, let's pull out the meme for it. Hold on. I got the meme. I got the meme. I got a boot, 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 boot. Here we go. Let's first get to that one. ICE is saying we were home without a warrant. Just a reminder that the Fourth Amendment says you could use the Second Amendment from stopping that from happening. But where is the funny meme? Here it is. Steffelson, you'll like this one. Two Amendment purist. When the military is deployed against its own citizens, they're like Homer Simpson, back it up. My dogs go. I got that DMX stuck in my head. God, I miss DMX. Rest in peace. Moment of silence. All right. My dogs go. Your dogs go. Ooh. You guys see this? Pretty good reason for a national strike. I say we hold the national strike until we get that orange turd out of office. But you know. Also, I wanted to show you guys this. Oh, it's cut off at the top. This is Stavy Baby. I think this is on his Instagram. I seen it on Reddit because I'm, you know, I try not to give Mark Zuckerberg any of my data anymore. I deleted all that rubbish until he gives back the land that he stole from natives in Hawaii. That's my holdout. So Mark, give it back. Or I challenge you to a fight, Mark. Remember when you challenged Elon Musk to a fight? I'll stand in his place. I'll fight you. And I'm old, dude. And you're a billionaire. Okay? This is Stavy Baby. If you don't know his comedy, probably one of the best comics, one of the best new comics out right now. There really isn't anyone genuinely more lovable, charismatic, and funnier than Stavy Baby, just existing. There are certain people like that. You met them. You know, there's certain people in your life where you're like, they're just funny. Not even funny to look at, they just have this like spark of funniness. Those people are amazing. Treasure them. And Stavy Baby's one of them. And look at his post. F every ICE agent. These cowards and the people empowering them should be prosecuted. The organization should be disbanded, and that's better than they deserve. Yeah, because I would say let them swing at Nuremberg. And then Stavy says, if you have a problem with that, please unfollow me. Don't come to my shows. We're way past the point of agreeing to disagree. Yep. I second this message, and I say this every day in my lives. Also, a little PSA from my homies in Portland. If you can read. But just a little PSA, okay? Portland figured it out. Let's you know, fight pepper spray with air. God bless Portland, keeping it weird always. Oh, Steal This Piss Test was 1980s. He wrote a book in 87? Are you serious, Julian? Hold on, 1987. Steal This Urine Test, Fighting Drug Hysteria in America. I didn't even know about that. Thank you so much, Julian. Oh my God. Jesus, hold on. Because when did he die? 88? 89. He died in 89. Oh my God. The same age my dad did. Oh my God. Everything is the same with him and my dad. Holy, that's fucking spooky. Wow, so 2 years before Abby left us. It was about Reagan's war. Julian, you just gave, I have to hunt that down. I have a small Abby Hoffman book collection that I live and breathe by. And the horrible thing is some of them are very old books because I won't buy those Amazon reprints or, I try to buy from bookstores. So they, start to come apart, but amazing. This is why I love my fucking subscribers. You guys are awesome. Thank you, Julian. So that's fascinating. So yeah, check that book out. I can recommend it because Steal This Urine Test was an alternative title. Oh yeah, well, because just like Steal This Book, nobody would release Abby Hoffman's Steal This Book because bookstores in the whatever it was 60s 70s thought like people are just going to steal it. So Abby had to, I forget how he devised the plan, but he basically did his own publishing company and released it. Incredible. I mean, God, I love him. Oh, we need heroes like this. You need to understand who these people are. Abby Hoffman. Oh, let me play some. Here's Abby Hoffman talking to the press during his trial of the Chicago 7. You can watch, what's his name? Borat play Abby Hoffman. And she does a great job. In the Netflix, whatever his name, did the movie Trial of Chicago 7. But here's Abby actually talking to the press in the midst of the trial.
And that's why these harassments and that's why these arrests and intimidations of our lawyers is currently going on. This is a sign of fascism in America. When you have U.S. Marshals dragging out lawyers that the defendants have already said do not represent them in this case, when they're dragged out of the room, when you have lawyers being held on no bail in this country, who have no criminal records or anything, who are members of the bar, when they're dragged out before other lawyers I think we're at a critical stage in the history of this country, and the stage in the legal system is only symbolic of what's going on in the rest of the country. Namely, are we to live under a system of death and brutality and injustice, or are we to embark on a new nation dedicated to life and love? And I think that's what's at stake here in this trial. It's in the words of the American Civil Liberties Union, this is the most important political trial in the history of the country. And we know that lawyers all around the country are going to protest the treatment of their fellow colleagues that are going to come into Chicago on Monday and make their statements felt in this federal court.
Why did Bobby Seale reject your defense attorney?
So that's Abby. I don't know if this is the one where he says some.
That's what's at stake here in this country, whether or not national demonstrations are going to be allowed. It's 10 years right now for what we're doing in this room.
Does the fact that you're holding a press conference right now have any bearing on the case?
It most certainly can have a bearing. But we don't care. The attitude of the defendants is that the jury is the people of this country, not the U.S. government. It's not the judge. Our whole strategy is to convince these 12 members of the jury that when they see what happened in Chicago in terms of recordings, in terms of the government's case, in terms of the movie pictures.
Now, if you don't know, the government was severely oppressive and instigative against peaceful protest. If you know anything about Happy Hoffman, he was a hippie turned yippie. Not yuppie, of peace, love. You hear the man speak. He lived and breathed that. He was also very wise, if you don't know any of his quotes. But it is crucial to understand this stuff because we're seeing it play out time and time again. Now, what happened since Abby Hoffman, just like Julian was referencing, the drug war. The Just Say No campaign, the dare officers in your classroom lighting incense to let you know what marijuana, call it cannabis, smells like. Even though the government knew the whole time it was a medicine. You know, ancients knew that, shamans knew that, spiritual guides knew that, vibe coaches knew that. And they were locking us all up. Why? Because if you can make your opposition illegal, remember, laws do not mean morality or ethical or integrity or moral. Laws are written by the rich and powerful. And sometimes those laws need to be executed in such a way to vilify and criminalize your opposition. That's all the drug war was. And they lost. We won the drug war. We fucking beat their asses, you know? They still won't federally deschedule or decriminalize cannabis, even though every fucking nominee has promised that since, you know, I don't know, the government got a patent on it since 2003. Well, not since the Bush years, actually. He really liked cracking down on the drugs, even though he loved drugs. Weird. Anyways, so they criminalize us, all of us. You're not included. You're included. You're included. Feel welcome to be part of the people that need to hold the government accountable. Now, before we get into levitating the Pentagon, which I think is important, something Abby Hoffman tried to do. Let me just bring that up. Hold on. Abby Hoffman, levitate the Pentagon. 1967, March on the Pentagon. I'm going to read that, but before I do, only because I'm an ordained reverend, and it is my sworn duty to give you the John Brown gospel. Not that, what's his name? Mike Johnson? Grinder Mike? Or J.D. Vance? Matthew 25:35. If you have your Bibles, you can open them. If you don't believe in the Bible, that's fine. This is just good stuff to understand, okay? And if you're looking for a Bible, go to any hotel. It's in the top drawer. Matthew 25:35. For I was hungry and you gave me something to eat. I was thirsty, you gave me something to drink. I was a stranger and you invited me in. I was naked and you clothed me. I was sick and you visited me. I was in prison, you came to me. Then the righteous will answer him, Lord, when did we see you hungry or feed you? Or thirsty and give you something to drink? And when did we see you as a stranger invite you in, or naked and clothe you? And when do we see you sick or in prison and come to you? And the king, Jesus, will answer them and say, I assure you and most solemnly say to you, to the extent that you did it for one of these brothers of mine, even the least of them, the most vulnerable, marginalized, speaking out, boot on their neck, nonconformist, woke, whatever you want to clarify them as, the people that are not in power. That's what he means when he says, even the least of them. I want you to remember that. The people in power are not victims. They're setting the stage. They're the ones implementing their oppressive might. They're the ones funneling all the money out of our communities. So when Jesus says, even the least of them, you did it for me. Just take that with you. And the reason I say that's important for non-Christians to understand is because if these Christians, these fake American Christians, not all of us, okay? I believe in Jesus. I'm not a part of any kind of American Jesus religion. I understand Jesus was a black dude and he was an immigrant and he was anti-establishment. He's marked by the state. I'm well versed in the story. He was a radical, never carried cash, didn't buy a home, just fed people, didn't ask if they worked 40 hours. Hold on. Oh, good. Okay. Hold on one second. Okay. Sorry about that. Sorry about that. Turtle Piece, what's up? Pink Fur. Pink Fur's here. Where did he go? I'm back. I promise. Christians say that people in prison don't deserve visits, should listen to Jesus instead of Trump. 100%. So that's what I was saying. Thank you, Julian. That's what I was saying. The reason when I read Matthew, the Bible has some good stuff. Do you see it as total truths or these problematic issues? Or are there problematic issues present? Thank you for the 99. Well, I think what Jesus said in the Red Riding is total truth. Here, let me just read it again. For I was hungry, you gave me something to eat. I was thirsty, you gave me the whole thing. And then when they're like, when did we do any of this for you? And he's like, well, if you did it to any of my brothers, even the least of me. Like, I should have got the Good Samaritan parable. If you've never heard Martin Luther King Jr. talk about the Good Samaritan parable, take that to a new level. But here's the thing. Welcome to the Church of Radical Communion. I'm your ordained Reverend Rob. I don't have the little thing. Maybe I should get an Adidas one. Everyone should listen to Jesus instead of anyone else, including the church. Yeah, the church does not like me nor Jesus. But that's why I say it's important for people who don't believe in Jesus to understand. It's like if you're going to go and debate somebody, you need to know what they believe in. So this is why I share this with you. You know, I'm spilling the secrets. I'm trying to get the church in trouble. This is why they shunned me. Because if anybody ever tries to use Jesus as some oppressive hammer on you, you just say, well, what did Jesus actually say? This is why Joel Osteen on Twitter blocked me, because I would just tweet the red at him and just be like, Joe, you're a liar. You're a lot. You're one of the ones that Jesus said, "Oh, hypocrites," when he was talking to the religious authorities at the time. So I share that with you because you got to arm yourself with knowledge, and then that way nobody can oppress you with it. Nobody can abuse you with it. Nobody can make you feel a way with it. You can go, I've read what he said, and you're a filthy liar. So important. Morning. Where are you that it's morning? But morning to you, if it be. So Belvia Barina Ner. I think it's total truths, and the only problematic issues presented, the only problematic issues are when people don't want to take care of each other, don't want to have community, you know? And mostly you see that top down. It's the billionaire class telling the politicians, the billionaires saying, I know the voters, you work for them, but we pay you. Just get rid of Citizens United. And the politicians put that message down, and Fox News and CNN and Joe Rogan all pump that out like, oh, you should be self-made, independent, rugged, bootstraps, all that yada, yada, yada. Again, listen to what Martin Luther King says about bootstraps. And they do that, and then people think they're self-made. But I always ask these people that are self-made, I'm like, so you didn't live at home for a long time, right? And you pave the roads and you use your own fire department. Like, nobody's self-made. You're just not. It's just not a thing. It's just not a thing. Were you born and your parents just dropped you somewhere and you were like, that's it, I gotta start doing some push-ups and find some milk? It's like, give me a break, man. Here's some more Abby Hoffman. Again, I guess it's Sunday, so welcome to church. Abby Hoffman, that's what I was going to read. He tried to levitate the Pentagon. 1967, March on the Pentagon was a massive demonstration against the Vietnam War that took place on October 21st. The protest organized by the National Mobilization to End the War in Vietnam. Let's get down to where Abby is. San Francisco, Allen Ginsberg, Gary Snyder, Timothy Leary. Here's a good one. Ed Sanders, Jerry Rubin was there. Abby Hoffman, separate from the group, who proposed that in order to draw attention to the Pentagon through shock value, which activists saw as the epicenter of military aggression, they should employ the use of psychic energy and physically levitate the building. Again, to this day, we don't know how high they levitated the Pentagon, but I believe they did. Jesus restored the original law. Love everyone as if they are you. Yeah, listen, that's one of my favorite verses when Jesus is like, two most important, love God and your neighbor unselfishly. That's it. I'm not Christian, but even I recognize that you can't truly serve two masters, MAGA. That means you. That's another great one from Jesus. He says, you can't serve two masters. Red letter editions that put Jesus' words in red are great for a Bible thumping against me and people that claim Jesus. Yeah, I gotta get one of those. Isn't the Jefferson Bible just the red? I have the Jefferson Bible somewhere. I think that's just the red letters. Okay, so now that you have the background on the psychic energy of levitating the Pentagon, I would just like to encourage everybody, if you have a moment, a quiet moment in your day, and maybe we should set a time so we can all do this together. We all send our psychic energy to Donald Trump, that may, whatever decisions he make, he must face them. He must see the repercussions. He must experience that full might that he is imbuing on his citizens or people around the world. You know, may that psychic energy waft towards him. And then I would say throw in at the end, we psychically send him many steps, many staircases that he must traverse wherever he goes. He must traverse many staircases because he's older and he's got to get those steps in. You know what I mean? You know what I mean? He's got to get those steps in. He's got to get healthy, man. He's eating too much junk food. Look at him. He looks like a bloated whale. Clots and prayers. There we go. Clots and prayers. King James was a freak. What's up, Weeping Angel? I will not read the King James Bible. I pray every day that someday he knows true shame, embarrassment, and pain. I would just say send your psychic energy to him that he at least has to face. He has to come face to face with this. Why do you think he was talking about heaven all that time? He's getting worried. So right now he sits at Mar-a-Lardo, you know, by the pool where people are dressed as furries and they're, you know, kidnapping kids and probably bringing them there, you know, for his Epstein old time's sake, for Epstein nostalgia. You know, his Epstein army is out in the streets. And he's just, you know, taking it easy. And I'm just saying, let's send psychic energy that he may have to face these decisions he's making, or whoever is telling him to make them. You know, may they face it. So we're not sending anything bad. We're not. Our psychic energy is only good. May the fruits of your not hard labor come to fruition right in front of your eyes. May you be in the midst of it so you understand what you do. That's all. And throw in at the end, just for me, that may he encounter many, many staircases throughout the days. You know, I want him healthy. I don't like seeing a Tubbo. I don't like seeing Taft Part 2 in the presidency. You know what I mean? Like, Bud, lay off the Mc. Somebody needs to take that Big Mac from him. Because, like, you know, as a special treat, you know, maybe after your first war crime, you get a special treat McDonald's, they bring you through the drive-thru. But, like, after every war crime, that's, you know, that's habitual. You got a problem. Jefferson Bible took out the supernatural parts, I believe. Oh, interesting. Okay, I'll look that up. I gotta get a red version one though. Okay, here's some more Abby.
That was one of the biggest slogans in the 60s.
By the way, Julian, you'll like this. This was 1980s Abby, not hippie Abby. Now we're at Yippie Abby, where he's fighting against one of his last protests was trying to keep some corporation from polluting a river up in Vermont, New Hampshire, Maine, I forget. Always doing God's work.
That was one of the biggest slogans in the 60s. Just say no was the slogan. I'll show you this shirt hasn't been changed in 25 years. Just say no to dorks like Bork. Just say no to student apathy. Just say no to apartheid in South Africa. Just say no to 34 million people living below the poverty level. Just say no to 3 million homeless people. Just say no to $270 million in contra aid. Just say no to lying, stinking presidents who act like presidents but are not presidents in fact. Goodbye, Ronald Reagan.
I miss him. I miss Abby Hoffman. Weeping Angel, you popped in a little late, so I'll show the meme. Like Bill Haywood once said, you know, the working class can cripple the capitalists, the owner class, by just putting our hands in our pocket. So, and remember, this was an ICU nurse. So ramblings are on the underground gospel that, you know, nurses are not happy, and maybe nurses go on strike. I don't know. That's Bernice King, MLK Jr.'s daughter. Her statement. That's my cousin John Brown. His statue, upstate New York. So remember, the John Brown gospel is just standing with the oppressed, standing for the marginalized, standing with your communities. What was this again? Oh yeah, I keep talking about this, so I'm not going to get into the news. I just want to show it to you. It's in the description. All these farmers, and they farm soy, a lot of them that are being interviewed, which is hilarious because they're the ones getting cut out of the trade deals because China is going to South America, Canada. Like we're an isolationist country now, a shithole country, as someone once called us. And it's so funny that again and again and again, look, this is in 2026. I've read these articles so many different times over the past 3 months, and it talks about how they voted for Trump and now they're going bankrupt. Soy boy farmers say the 12 billion aid is a slap in the face while corporations pocket billions. Well, that's because the 12 billion aid is basically going to them to pay their bills, which they're pinched by the corporations on either side. If you get into the weeds of this, it's so funny that these people thought Donald, the coastal elite Nepo baby who's asking billionaires and corporations to bribe him so he can do whatever he wants for them, that they thought like he was going to be their savior. I hope filing bankruptcy isn't too expensive. Don't know what to tell you. I'd love a strong farmer community in America, but if you idiots are going to choose this stuff, like what, I can't save you, and now you're learning Donald can't or won't. Oh well, I really don't know what to say at this point. Some people have to learn the hard way. I was like that when I was young too. It just doesn't look like that guy's that young, so you don't really feel bad. It's like, oh, you didn't learn any lessons growing up? What a dummy. Got to learn some lessons the hard way, and then you realize, corn is the most genetically crop. Yeah. Because besides the like 6 soy boy farmers in Arkansas, it's all corporations. It's all Donald Trump's friends. Our entire beef industry relies on soy for feed. Interesting. Love the ICE protest things. Love it. What else? You know what? That's all I got for you guys. So make sure you hit subscribe, hit the notification bell. It's Sunday. I usually don't go live on Sundays. I'm usually here on weekdays. But you know what? We had to do a little church of radical communion. Little John Brown gospel. That's all. Remember, whatever you did to the least of people, that's what you did to Jesus. You don't have to be a Christian or believe in Jesus to know that, but it's important you know that, because when people go around claiming they're doing things in the name of God, say, is that how God wants you to treat them? Because God says, even to the least of these, how you treated them is how you treat me. Important information. Arm yourself with education, okay? I don't know why MAGA thought it was so amazing to dismantle education in this country. I don't know. It's something. If you meet some people who know some things, like Julian taught me. What's up, CJ? FAFO, the 3rd time. Farmers got screwed every time. Become an educated voter. Good to see you, CJ. Good to see you. I'm glad you're here. But Julian taught me that it wasn't Steal This Book he was referencing. Abby Hoffman's Steal This Piss Test, which is incredible. Now I have a new book to read on top of the 50 others. Namaste. Appreciate you. You too, CJ. Everybody stay safe. If you're in the storm path, please stay warm. Check in with your neighbors. Just text people. That's all you got to do. Build community. Say, you staying warm? Everything good? Everything okay? Just do that. Do that. And if you don't know your neighbors, get out and meet them. It's important, okay? All you got to do is taking the trash out, getting the mail. You say, hey, how you doing? Yeah, we've been here for a while. I know. Bring them some food. Everybody likes food. Watch Anthony Bourdain, okay? All right, guys, make sure you hit subscribe, hit the notification bell. Much love, respect, peace.